Hello there, good afternoon to you. My name's Wayne. I am the lone Cybertronian. I apologise in advance for the slightly bedraggled look, but I am going out shortly, so forgive me for that. But this is a review I really wanted to get done really quickly. So what we have here is, I believe they're still called Core class, but that's what it is anyway. It's the old Legends class. Bumblebee movie, Shockwave. I'm a big fan of Shockwave, so when I saw one appear, I was like, yes, I shall be having a bit of that. And he arrived yesterday along with Ravage, who I'll try and get a review done shortly for as well. But yeah, let's have a little look at the little purple guy and see what we think. Okay, and here is Shockwave in his Autobot mode, looking very Shockwave, immediately identifiable by the glaring singular yellow eye and the little ear antennas, and obviously the chest plate as well. Very much reminiscent of pretty much any Shockwave that's ever been ever. He does have a removable gun, which I've stuck on his left arm as standard, but he can hold it in his right if you feel the need. I'm just going for the standard configuration here. But he is quite a nice looking little bot, I will be honest. The head's a little strange with the silver on the sides, but I'm not going to argue with that too much. He's really quite nice. Probably not my favourite Legends class, Core class, whatever you're calling them these days. Shockwave, I think for me the Combiner Wars 1 takes that. I really like that figure. And the Prime one's not too bad. I think this one was based on the Prime one, essentially, as the transformation is quite similar. I won't be showing that in the video, I'll just be showing the alt mode. But he will look familiar if you do have or have seen that figure. Really poseable. His head does swivel left and right. It's not on a ball joint, I don't think, or if it is, it's very, very limited. Shoulders, forwards, side to side. We've got an elbow joint, and it does rotate as well as part of the transformation, but it is a bit strange because it's really tough to move. And when you do transform it is tough to line it up a little bit. It is doable, but it just takes a little bit of brute force, more than I'd like. No waist swivel, which is unsurprising on a figure of this size. Got the forward and backwards legs, and in and out. Knees, yeah, absolutely. And he's got flippy flappy feet. And no ankle tilt, but then what would you expect on a Core class / Legends class figure? So there he is. I'm actually quite pleased with him in his robot mode. He definitely looks the part. Definitely looks like he's ready to go and blow up some launching pads. And so that gun looks uber menacing as well, and he can hold quite a tidy pose with it. He's fairly poseable, and as I said, he does balance well as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the robot form. Now let's see what we can do about his alt mode. And top marks to you for guessing what he was going to turn into if you guessed it was a tank. As all Shockwaves have been in recent years, he transforms into a tank of some description. As I say, the Prime one does. I think, as I said, the Combiner Wars one actually turns into a gun / spaceship, which was quite unusual, but a lot of them have turned into tanks. Although, in saying that, the Siege one is a spaceship as well, so maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. But a lot of them do seem to be tanks, and this one's no exception. And he's not a bad little tank, to be honest. As you can see, same as the Prime one, the legs come out to form the front, while the arms come back to form the rear treads. No rolly wheels, unfortunately. He's got like a stick on the bottom of the treads, so the treads don't weigh down on a table or whatever. But yeah, it's a nice little tank mode. Turret does have a little bit of movement on it, so it goes left and right. And does it go all the way? Oh, yep, goes all the way around, and goes up and down as well on a hinge in the gun. Chest plate, as usual, comes down to form some kind of viewing port if you want to class it as something people can sit in. And then you've also got his head poking out the back, because his head forms the back of the turret. The gun actually plugs into the back of his head. So that's a bit strange. I thought they might have done something to cover the face up, but I'm not going to whinge too much about that on a Core class toy. One thing I do appreciate is when you're transforming him, there are a lot of little tabs and slots, like there and there, and there's a couple on here, slightly further up on the inner arm, which slot into the leg there. So there's a lot of clear instruction. It's not like he's not what I call kind of a floating transformer where you kind of just sort of put the limbs in position, and they're just there. There's actually stuff in place to make sure that things lock into place. Now these ones here don't lock into place particularly well, and as I mentioned, getting these joints around here does take a little bit of fiddling, but it does work, and there's a tab and slot system going on there to lock them in place. As you can see, he's come out quite well. So that's a pretty positive review. He is a little bit loose on a couple of the joints here and there. Like that does decide to come off, it just comes out of the slot. You can just push it back in, but it doesn't hold as well as I'd like it to. But I am not going to complain too much. As I said, my only real gripe with this is the fact that you can see the head at the back, but that's not a massive complaint. Yeah, so he is quite a nice figure. I do prefer him in his robot mode very much. You know, the vehicle mode's fine. You know, as an alt mode, it does what it's supposed to do, and it looks like a tank. But I do very much prefer his robot mode. But yeah, that's quite a positive review, I think, of this figure. Maybe I'm biased because it's Shockwave, and Shockwave is one of my favourite characters. But I am quite happy with this one. I'm glad I picked him up. I do intend to do Ravage either tomorrow or hopefully sometime next week, just to get him up and running as well. I was kind of less impressed with Ravage as he transforms into a box, but there may be a reason for that in the future, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, I am hoping to get more content up for you guys as well, sooner rather than later. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like me to actually have a look at, if it's in my collection, then I will be happy to do so. I will start getting through more stuff as I go on, as I say. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.